Mercedes entered the 2022 season looking to extend its record streak of 8 consecutive Constructors' Championship wins, dating back through the entirety of the V6 hybrid era. But the team has struggled to get to grips with the overhauled technical regulations for this year, encountering porpoising and bouncing difficulties with its W13 car. It has left Red Bull and Ferrari to fight for top honours at the head of the field through the first half of the season, while Mercedes bids to overcome its struggles. Heading to Silverstone for this weekend's British Grand Prix, Red Bull F1 boss Horner said he expected to face a greater challenge at the upcoming events after winning 7 of the first 9 races this year. Asked by motorsport.com if he thought Mercedes would be a factor at Silverstone, Horner replied, "Definitely. I think they'll be strong at Silverstone. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be. Paul Ricard, the same. I think Ferrari will be quick at Silverstone as well. It could be more of a challenging circuit for us just due to the nature of this layout. It's incredible that we've put on a run of 6 race victories together, but Silverstone could well be the most challenging." Mercedes has won 8 out of the last 10 races at Silverstone, only missing out on victory at the 2018 British Grand Prix and the 70th anniversary Grand Prix that was held in 2020. The team is planning to bring some updates to this weekend's race in a bid to take another step forward so that it can challenge both Red Bull and Ferrari. This will follow the breakthrough it made with its porpoising issue at the Spanish Grand Prix, thanks to a raft of updates on the W13 car. Red Bull opted for an early update on its RB18, helping it steal a march on Ferrari from the start of the European season at Imola back in April. Horner said the team did not have anything big planned for its car between now and the summer break at the start of August, instead preferring a very modest evolution. Components are introduced as components come to the end of their life, Horner said. It's a very different form of development to what you would see in previous years. So Christian Horner, expecting an improved Mercedes at Silverstone and following progressively improving results, it would appear that they are edging closer to solving the problems which have dogged their season so far. With the Brackley-based squad feeling it is finally making some progress in unlocking the potential of the W13, the team has scheduled some development for the car for the race at Silverstone. But while the smooth nature of the Northamptonshire track could be especially good for the team, its technical director Mike Elliott remains cautious and is eager to keep expectations in check that it can soon start challenging Red Bull and Ferrari. Speaking in Mercedes' regular post-race video analysis after Canada, Elliott said about the team's British Grand Prix hopes, "One thing you can be sure of is we will push as hard as we can. We will be bringing new bits to Silverstone. We will be trying to push the car forward, trying to get some pace from the car we've got or from the package we've got, as well as the new bits that we're going to add to it. I think at the same time though, we have to be honest with ourselves and say that at the moment we are just a little behind those front runners in Ferrari and Red Bull, and in a normal race I think it is going to be tough." Mercedes made a breakthrough in dialing out its porpoising issue with changes introduced at the Spanish Grand Prix. However, it has found that in order to get the best performance from its car, it needs to run very low to the ground, which has proved troublesome at bumpy tracks. But despite feeling that Silverstone should be better than recent races, it does not expect things to be dramatically different. "I think Silverstone will be a circuit that suits us a little better, like Barcelona did, but maybe it will be just a little bit difficult," added Elliott. "Whatever happens, we will push as hard as we can. Our drivers will push as hard as we can because we want to get back to winning. We want to win for the team. We definitely want to win, and we want to win for you, the fans. So let's see what happens." Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff has shared Elliott's views on prospects for the British GP, saying that a lot of work remains before the team is back where it wants to be. "Silverstone was good to us in the past, and the circuit is smoother than the last 3 ones, but it's not Barcelona," he said. "We should manage our own expectations and just really grind away, look at the data, and come up with some sensible solutions, not only for Silverstone, but going forward as well." Indeed, the reality is that Mercedes may be closer to Ferrari and Red Bull in Silverstone, but they still have a lot of ground to make up with their pace and in the title fight. They are 116 points behind Red Bull, while Russell and Hamilton are 64 and 98 points off Verstappen respectively in the drivers' standings. Former Mercedes driver and world champion Nico Rosberg, meanwhile, has predicted there is no way Mercedes can compete with Red Bull and Ferrari at the British GP, where Max Verstappen is looking to extend his 46-point title lead. "No, they can't win. No way," said Rosberg on Any Driven Monday. "They're still too far away from performance of Ferrari and Red Bull. They're still miles away." And Rosberg says that Ferrari's run of of bad form has put them in nothing-to-lose territory as they struggle to keep up with Red Bull. After the first 3 races of the season, it seemed as if not only were Ferrari back at the top of the sport, but they were some distance clear of all but Red Bull. It's kind of nothing to lose anymore, he told Sky Sports Any Driven Monday. So just go for it and then see what can be maximised. Of course, they need to get on top of their reliability issues, but the pressure is kind of off a little bit now. I mean, they were huge favourites after the first couple of races, but now they're so far behind. So you have got nothing to lose. Go for it. Big push, and let's see what they can do. Rosberg was also asked which car he would prefer to be driving of the Red Bull and Ferrari, and despite Red Bull's problems earlier this season, as well as with Sergio Perez in Canada, the German was clear on which seat he would rather be in. Definitely Red Bull, the ex-Mercedes driver said. Maybe it's not actually such an easy question, but feeling-wise, I do say Red Bull because recently it's been the Ferrari, not the Red Bull, that's breaking down. They've kind of got on top of their things. But Hamilton hopes Mercedes can get back to the winning ways at Silverstone despite Rosberg and Elliott's concerns. The 37-year-old said a few weeks ago, "I hope by the time we get to the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, we will have the car as we want it, to be able to fight with Ferrari and Red Bull. It would be nice if we can give them a run for their money at our home race." Meanwhile, never wanting to stand still with car developments, Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff is pushing for details of Formula One's new power unit rules to be confirmed soon. The current V6 hybrid turbo power units introduced in 2014 have been frozen. Manufacturers will continue using their current designs until their replacements arrive in 2026. The forthcoming regulations are expected to simplify the design by removing the MGU-H, but also increase the importance of the electrical element of the hybrid power unit via an uprated MGU-K. Fully sustainable fuels will also be introduced. "We are very keen that the engine regulations are indeed being signed off because we want to just get on with the job," said Wolff after the Canadian Grand Prix. "But they also need to be done in the right way, and I have sympathy for the FIA to get it right." Wolff wants Mercedes' high-performance powertrains division to begin work on its new power unit for 2026 this summer. In addition to F1's 4 current manufacturers, the proposed Volkswagen Group entries from Porsche and Audi, who have been part of discussions about the regulations, are also preparing to build power units to the new rules. "I think it's not easy with all of the incumbents and the new power unit suppliers to really get to a point that we're having detailed regulations that are ready to be signed off," Wolff acknowledged. "But I hope that it's not dragging out too long. I hope that we can do this over summer so we can start the autumn season with engine regulations in place." Ferrari team principal Matteo Binotto is not concerned that the arrival of the new regulations will be held up. "We've not received at the moment any information on the fact that the vote will be delayed," he said. "There is a World Council meeting by the end of June, and there will be an F1 commission in Austria. So let's move step by step." Formula One is coming home next up with the famous British Grand Prix, set to provide a sporting spectacle as in-form Max Verstappen, home favourites including Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, and a bumper crowd descend on Silverstone for more drama. Silverstone, the home of British motorsport and cornerstone of F1 since its 1950 debut, hosts the 10th round of an encapsulating 2022 season. Verstappen holds a 46-point lead in the championship after making huge strides forward defending his F1 crown in recent weeks, although Red Bull claim Ferrari are still quickest and also fear Mercedes' pace.